G'day guys and welcome to another London session market update video. Just before we begin guys, if you could hit the like button, that would be much appreciated. So as always guys, we'll be looking at GJ, I'll take a look at gold, possibly GU, and if we have time, obviously I'll look at NAS, and if we have time I may also look at USL quickly. Alright, so looking at GJ, starting with GJ to begin, you can see here that we are forming a weak bearish candle. Previous weekly candle was a strong bullish candle. It is pre-market, pre-session. Usually at around London NY open of a Wednesday, I will start to revert to the current weekly candle for its direction, unless we are prior to that creating high lows, high highs, and hovering above the high, for instance in this case on GJ, or if we were engulfing the low of the previous candle. But at the moment we are forming a weak bearish candle, still based on the previous candle. If we do begin to break our own high, break above the previous weekly candle high, there is a good chance we will continue to the upside. Based on the weekly as well, we've obviously formed support at the low, so there's a good chance if we begin to pop below it that we may continue to the downside. So I'm probably just going to mark in, well, go back to Forex.com just now. Going to mark in the lows and the highs of the current weekly candle, and we can shift on to the daily time frame. All right, so looking at on the daily, structure wise, we are still technically bearish. We're still respecting this resistance to the left hand side, consolidating at resistance. Consolidation is a sign of liquidity being built up into market. So at this point here, we've got an arm wrestle at the high time frame resistance. We'll form support at resistance. If price begins to break the low of the previous daily candle, look what we've got to the left, some very clean traffic. We begin to break the high of the previous daily candle. Look what we've got to the left, clean traffic yet again. So at this stage, we're likely going to be looking for trades either side of the current weekly, and which is the previous daily low slash high. Now, that did close an indecision candle. Excuse the barking background, guys. Babysitting. Well, puppy sitting, sorry. He's a baby. Like a baby. Shit. Anyway, back to it. He's a cute boy, though. Alright, so on to the 4 hour. Structure-wise, we are technically still bullish. Look what happened on yesterday, when we bounced off that level. We came back down to retest this support, only to bounce off it. And we're since just consolidating. We're in a really narrow, choppy area of consolidation. The 4 hour. I'm going to mark in the high, change it to gray. I'm going to mark in the low, the support, leave that at gray. I don't want to incorporate more of a zone here, because we obviously, this whole area is of support on the 4 hour. Like I mentioned yesterday, guys, and I think Monday, when I see JJ like it is right now, consolidating within a 4 hour range, and with no clear direction, to me, it just gives me absolutely nothing. It's going to be very difficult trade just by looking at that. We've also formed resistance within the current daily candle within this range, about halfway up at this point just here, around at 188.30 sort of level. So I'm just going to mark that in onto the M30. So we are technically bullish out of support. M30 is technically bearish. All right, so that therefore means my bias is still technically bullish. However, I don't see any clear options on GJ right now. If I'm to be honest, guys, I'd be looking for, at this stage, we begin to pop above the current daily candle high formed close to the open. Retest, seeing we'll come down to quite low for the daily. If we retest the high of the current daily candle, pop above it, 188.29, 188.30. For me, at that point, they've grabbed liquidity from downside. We're likely going to continue up towards that 188.60, potentially 188.80. Now, having said that, if we pull back up to that level, we are technically bearish, and if we reject it, then mark my word, I'd love to look for sellers. It'd be nice if it creates a clean move to the upside just now. Bit of volume about to come in with coming close to EU Open pre-London. So for me, if we do begin to reject that level, I would definitely entertain some sell options. Now, buys at this point, it's just very choppy, so really probably has to come back down further, maybe deeper into this gray zone. Going to pop back above it, start to form a little bit of structure at the lows to consider a buy at the low. I'm not all that keen at GJ right now. I'd rather just wait patiently. It's obviously a lot cleaner below support 187.30. It's a fair way off. Yeah, I'd just be really patient in GJ. Let's move on to gold. This was something I was trying yesterday, never got triggered in, so get that, don't worry about that. Did take one trade yesterday, which was a win on GJ as well. Been trading GJ more than anything so far, first month of the year, and so far not taking a loss, which is fantastic. All All right, so on to gold, and gold is on the weekly. It's again based on that previous weekly candle, weak bearish candle, current candle, lower high, higher low. Not much volume within the current weekly candle. At a resistance on the weekly. Daily, just heavy area consolidation, obviously below the support. Got some pretty clean traffic to the left. We could see price come back down towards 2006 level. You're going to pop above the resistance. There's a high probability you'll end up around that 255 sort of level on that time frame. The structure is bullish. Previous daily did close back bullish. I'm not going to mark anything just yet. It's pretty obvious looking at 4 hour now where we could probably begin to look for potential options. This stage I'm just going to mark in high, see if it's a bearish wick on the M30. I'm going to mark in the low, see if it's a bullish wick on the M30. That is our range that we're currently playing within. What we can see either side of this range, we've got some clean traffic. So definitely going to be options, I feel, without even looking at the M30, to sell it below the support, buy it above the resistance. Again, current daily is trade a high, trade a low. If it breaks either end of that, then I feel there's a good chance it will continue to trend in that direction for the remainder of the day. Now, the 4-hour structure itself is technically still bullish. Will remain bullish until really these lows, the closure below it, unless we come up, create a high. But it's right, we're just consolidating. So the structure itself is bullish. Could mark in other resistance just here and see what it looks like above it, the M30. All right, so that's a bullish candle wick, so I'm going to leave that zone in. That's a bearish candle wick, so these zones will remain. And I'm keeping my zones deep, as you guys know now, to incorporate the 4-hour level, which is a more significant level. All right, so right now we're kind of in the middle of this range within the range, if that makes sense. So for me on gold, the M30 structure is, by the looks of it, it's technically bullish. Yeah, it's technically bullish. So look, we are consolidating at previous consolidation to the left. Could be some risky options on a closure above that point just there. The next 7.5 minutes. I'm not keen on it, to be honest. I still feel that there's a high probability we will come back down to 2021.50 roughly before we form a support to potentially head back up. That is where I prefer to look for the potential buys lower down. But yet to tap in within the current daily candle, that is the level prices constantly pop down to the past week by the looks of it. Therefore, I would prefer for that to be the case. Looking at the daily again, so let's quickly, yep, so obviously not a great deal of volume. Yeah, if we do pop down a bit further, then begin to form a support and retest the high, it's going to be options to buy it above the current daily candle's high upon continuation. Above that level, just there, which is actually within yesterday's candle, current daily candle high is just a tad lower down, but that's the resistance, so I'll mark it in. Change it to buys. And further sell options, guys, obviously if we reject that 2029 sort of level, you know, guys know exactly what to look for at that point, to look for your potential sells to take it back down. Again, it's kind of just in the middle right now, so I would just be more patient with it and look for price to either come back down to 2021.50 or head up to 2029 to potentially start thinking about your potential trade options. And buys above, sells below also look okay, but a fair way to go. All right, so that's gold, guys. Now onto GU. I've marked this chart up. So GU is bias is neutral. We've got 2 time frames to the upside, 2 time frames to the downside. All right, so looking at the weekly, indecision candle has not broken the high of the previous, nor has it broke the low. Obviously open a big gap. Forex.com is probably going to stop using it. Gaps all over the place. The daily, again, still heavy area of consolidation. Previous daily to close back bearish. No real probabilities within the candle, low, high, low. Just really in a very tricky area of consolidation. Does look a bit better though once we go down to the M30 and 1 and a 4 hour, I suppose. 4 hour structure is technically still, by the looks of it, bearish. Yeah. So is it running out of steam? Not really. Still showing signs that it could potentially come up. We've got resistance at this point here. All right, so I've already marked it in, guys, to speed things up a little bit. And the M30 is technically bullish, or is it? Hang on, this has changed. I think it's actually bearish. I don't think I updated that. Yeah, the M30 is technically bearish, guys, so ignore that. That should be bearish, and therefore the bias is technically to the downside. All right, so that changes things to 3 versus 1 for sell. And right now, we're right in the middle, smack bang in the middle of this range again, within the overall 4-hour range, the higher time frame range. So it's me and GU. I simply wait. I wouldn't try to get involved right in the middle. Possibly if we continue to just load around this level and consolidate come London, if we begin to close below the support, that could be an option, guys, because what we're doing, if we look over here to the left, we're tapping into previous support multiple times, so we tapped into that level. And if we reject and begin to pop the lot, come close to London Open, I feel like could be a good option, take it back down towards the current daily candles low. Aside from that, just be patient with it, wait for it to come back down to support, potentially buy it, or again, pull up to resistance around that 127.15 sort of level and look for your potential sells. All right, so now let's move on to NAS. All right, so NAS just continues to trickle up, really bullish across the board. Don't even need to actually do the top-down analysis as far as structure-wise, because we know it's bullish. But what we do have is high, low, high, high on a weekly. Previous strong bullish, current daily, market gap to the upside, high, 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 low. Just going to mark in the low of the current daily candle, so we get to create a low. We've seen we broke the high of the previous. We have no need to pull back and break our own low. The 4-hour structure itself is also technically bullish. We're just going to mark in support. I'm going to mark in no... Well, actually, we are going to mark in resistance, previous level, and just see if and when prices retrace to it. All right, just going to bring that across. All right, so we're closed above, tapped in. Quite simple on NAS today for me. Still on a heavy uptrend. Nothing yet to suggest to me that we're going to change any of that. So let it create the move just now. I will not trust the volume. Create a clean move up, pull back. Likely going to pull back to roughly at 17.448 sort of level. Form a support above it. And then you could look for a potential option that might come closer to MY open. So be prepared, look out for that MY pre-MY. Now, on the flip side, guys, for sells, now seeing we broke above, closed above the 4-hour previous range to the left, the resistance, no need to pull back and break below and start to close below. If we do so, actually close below, pull back, create a lower high, lower low, that type of scenario, I'd be looking to sell it from higher up. So that's what I'd be looking at on NAS for the sells. Otherwise, buys, as long as we remain above it, even when we pop back into this gray zone. So for that matter, I'm just going to mark in buys above that current daily candle's low, the open of the current daily candle. That's what I'd be looking at on NAS. Onto US oil, again, I marked up a chart for some guys that I coach. All right, so structure-wise, it's bullish across the board. However, it is at a resistance right now. It's at the current daily candle high. The resistance formed at the current daily candle high, which is also the previous daily candle high, guys. Actually, no, it's not. Sorry. Take that back. It's not even a current daily candle high. I take it back. Little bit wrong. That's the high. All right. Nonetheless, we are at a resistance form within the current daily candle. That's where we definitely are. We are to continue bearish. We should respect it, head back down, form a resistance, and look for potential sell options. Not looking that likely at the moment, though. It just depends. I mean, if we get the right catalyst, then yes, sell. I think be some sell options from 74.50, roughly below that level. Otherwise, what we be looking for is price to pop above and close above the resistance formed around the current daily candles open. At that point there, you can say we create that lower wick to grab some more liquidity. Ready to head back up, break our own high form within the current daily candle. And there is a good chance and a high probability at that point there we will continue to the upside. So buys on a closure above 74.60 roughly. And that is probably a wrap, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that update video. Do trade safe. I will see if I can pop on live for a little bit, maybe even later. Make sure to get the video a like and share it with everyone, guys. Help get the message around that I am back. All streams will begin during March at some point. I'll be back full time, guys, probably Monday to Friday, same time as what I was with yeah, your streams. Cheers, guys. Take care. Trade safe. Bye for now.